Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind, and welcome to the session. Good evening, Satish. Good evening, everyone. So, I hope all of you are doing well. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so I welcome you all in this session, and today we are going to read some very important topics. There was a demand from one of you in the previous week, in the last week, that we have this one sea, Mediterranean Sea. So you will find that along this Mediterranean Sea, there are more than 20 plus countries which are bordering this area. So there was a demand from your side that we should also have some trick for remembering the countries which are there in the Mediterranean Sea region. So today we will try to see that topic also. Okay. Apart from this, the topics which we are going to see today is, first thing is H1B visa. Okay. This issue is going on for quite some time, and even in upcoming days, this is going to become one of the most debated topic, H1B visa. Okay. So we will try to understand what is this visa all about, who are getting this visa, and why US is talking so much about this H1B visa. Okay. So we are going to talk about this one. Then second thing is, there is an article which was not just in the present time, it has been there for quite some time now. There is a report that India is warming slowly. So we will try to understand this part, that why India is warming slowly. Plus at the same time, we will also try to see that what is the global trend of warming across the terrestrial areas, across the oceanic areas, and every other place. So this is one thing which we are going to see in today's session. Third thing is, today is Indian Army Day. So we will also look at this part about Indian Army. Okay. So that is one part which we are going to see in today's session. And the fourth one is, we are going to talk about this Mediterranean Sea, the countries which border it. The countries bordering it. Okay. So this will be our topic for today's session. Okay. Now before we start this topic, let us see some questions with respect to the topics which we have discussed in the previous class. Okay. So let's start. This is the first question. Last day we have talked about PM Kisan. Last day we have discussed about this PM Kisan Yojana. So with respect to that, we have got this one question. The question is, which of the following statements are correct about PM Kisan? Ministry of Rural Development is administering this scheme. It is entirely funded by Union government. Select the correct answer using the code given below. This is the first question, and I think a relatively easy one. Okay, there is one question, how to purchase the magazine. You can purchase it from a website or application. You can just go to KGS website or application. From there you can purchase it. So I think this is a relatively easy question. Okay, one of the answer is option A. I think all other answers are option B. One of the answer is option A. Good evening. Now, of course, if we look at this, Ministry of Rural Development, this will be wrong. Which ministry is there? We can see that here we have Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Welfare. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. So this one is looking at the scheme. The first statement here is wrong. It is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare which is implementing this scheme. It is entirely funded by the Union government. That is correct. It is a central sector scheme. This one is a central sector scheme. Hence, it is entirely funded by the union government. So, this answer here will be option B, that is 2 only. Now, see this second question. Consider the following statements with respect to rat hole mining. It is mostly prevalent in Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. It has been banned by National Green Tribunal. Which of the statements given above are correct? Question number 2, and I think this is also a relatively easy question. Rat hole mining, where is this prevalent? What is option B? I think everyone is going for this option B. Yes. So, in this question again, we can see it is not prevalent in Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. Rather than that, we see it is prevalent in Meghalaya. We see that it is much more prevalent in Meghalaya. Okay. In Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and other places, it is not that much prevalent, because what we see that in Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, there is huge amount of coal which is available. It is not found in the narrow belt or thin seams. Okay. It is abundantly available. So there is no such crisis of going for poor quality of coal. Okay. So here what we see in case of Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, this is not correct. It has been banned by National Green Tribunal. That is true. Even the ban on ban on rat hole mining, it has been seconded by Supreme Court. There is one thing, seconded by Supreme Court. So suppose that if it is written seconded by Supreme Court, so what it will mean? Like, this is one part. If you find that it has been seconded by Supreme Court, so what does that mean? What does this word mean, seconded by Supreme Court? What is the meaning of this word? What is the meaning of this word, seconded by Supreme Court? Anyone? Seconded by Supreme Court means? No idea. Seconded here simply means that it has been agreed by, or approved by. Agreed by or approved by. Seconded by means first someone has said that, and then seconded here means that it has been agreed by the Supreme Court that yes, it has to be banned. Okay. So supported, agreed, or you can say that approved by Supreme Court. Okay. So that is the meaning of support, or sorry, seconded. Then now see this place. Consider the following place and their location: Malta, Arabian Sea; Reunion Island, Pacific Ocean; Diego Garcia, Indian Ocean. How many pairs given above are correctly matched? One is Diego Garcia, Indian Ocean; Reunion Island, Pacific Ocean; and Malta, Arabian Sea. This is question number 3. This is question number 3, places and their location. These are basically your islands. And where they are located. The first option says Malta in Arabian Sea, Reunion Island, Pacific Ocean, And third is saying Diego Garcia, Indian Ocean. Last day we have seen certain topics, certain of the islands here. Okay, a few answers as option A, option B also. See, if we look at this, Diego Garcia, we have seen, it is that part of, we have seen this in connection with the Chagos Island. We have seen last day in the connection with the Chagos Island, it is there in Indian Ocean, so this one is correct. Reunion Island, it is also there in Indian Ocean, not in Pacific Ocean. It is also there in the Indian Ocean region itself. Malta, Malta is not in Arabian Sea. Malta is there in Mediterranean. Okay. This is there in Mediterranean. Okay. So, here what we see that first and second are incorrect. Third one is correct. Hence, the answer here will be option 1. Only one. Diego Garcia is the, yes, Diego Garcia is correctly matched. Malta is there in Mediterranean, a very small island country, and Reunion Island is also near this CSLs and all. It is also there in this Indian Ocean region. Okay. Now, so today we are talking about H1B visa. Today we are going to talk about this topic, H1B visa. So can you tell me first a few things about this? M for Mediterranean. Okay. Now, tell me about this. If we are talking about H1B visa, so what do you know about this? How people are getting this H1B visa? What is the terms, like how they are getting it? Who is getting it more? Okay. And why it has been enacted? 3 questions are there. First of all, why it is provided? Why it is provided? To whom it is provided? And third is, who is getting maximum H1B visa? Okay. So there are 3 important questions here about H1B visa first. Okay. Green card is something different. See, first try to understand the context here. Okay. It was the time of 1990. It was the time of 1990. This was the time of rise of technology. This was the time of rise of technology and primarily internet. Especially this was the time of rise of internet. And during this time, there was a need of skilled labor. There was a requirement of skilled labor in United States. So what we see that there was requirement. There was this requirement of skilled labor. Requirement of skilled labor in US. And at that time, what we saw that in United States, it was seen that there was lack of skilled labor. There was lack of supply of skilled labor at domestic level. So then a special program was started, a special type of visa was started, that was H1B visa program. Okay. So this was the beginning of H1B visa. This was the time when we have started this H1B visa in US. Why? This was the time of rise of technology, rise of internet. So there was a requirement of a skilled labor. And in order to fulfill that labor, they wanted peoples or experts who are from outside, who were from outside. So they started this special program H1B visa. And under this H1B visa, what we see that this was provided to experts. This was provided to experts. They needed the skills. They needed the skills. They needed someone with those internet skills or computer skills. So they started providing these H1B visas. Okay. But then gradually, what we see that by 2010, things started to change. Now computer knowledge became much more common. Okay. By 2010, what we see that computer knowledge or computer skill was much more common in US. So they could have even got the supply of labor from United States. Okay. So by 2010, what we see that sufficient supply of labor from US. Okay. It's not that there was lack of this labor or lack of skilled labor in United States. There was sufficient supply. But there was another challenge, that was cost benefit analysis. There was another part, that was cost benefit analysis. Cost benefit analysis. What we saw that the foreign immigrants or the persons who are coming from outside, they were charging less, and those who are locals, they were charging more. Okay. So what we saw that salary expectation of local greater than foreigners. So this salary expectation of locals was greater than the foreigners. And by this time, one another thing was clear. One another thing was very much clear, that you need a huge supply of labor just for doing some basic work. Some basic computer works can be done by people who are having even semi skills. They can also do it. And that labor was easily coming from abroad. So what we see that companies still preferred Indians. Sorry, not Indians, foreigners. So this was the reason why they are focusing on H1B visa. So H1B visa was not on the request of India or China or any other developing country. H1B visa was enacted on the request of industries of United States. It was not on the request or not as a charity to the developing nation. It was the demand of their industry that they wanted laborers from outside. They wanted skilled labor from outside who could work for relatively lesser amount of money. Just to give you a context here, 70% Indians get less than $1 lakh annually. They get less than $1 lakh annually. But for the US people, the median salary is something around 1,10,000, 1,05,000. Okay. So what we see that majority of the people are working or getting less than 1 lakh. Their requirement is around more than 1 lakh, $1,04,000, $1,08,000, like that. Okay. So while for them this is a meager salary, for Indians this will be a package of 85 lakh rupees annual. This $1 lakh is like 85 lakh rupees annual package. So for Indian people, this will be a huge sum. But for those people who are from US, this money will be a relatively smaller money. Okay. So now, who gets this? Who are eligible? who are eligible, minimum graduation degree is required. Minimum graduation degree required. Okay. So what we see that there is a minimum requirement of graduation degree, and people are not directly applying for H1B visa. Industries of US, they are applying for the quota under H1B visa, and then they are hiring people from India and giving them this option of H1B visa. Okay. So what we see that this is provided or allotted to US industries, on lottery basis. This is allotted to US industries on lottery basis. Is there a limit? Is there a limit on this? That how much it will be provided? How much H1 visa will be provided? We see that there is a limit, and that limit is quite low. You will find that it is only 65,000. Okay. It is 65,000 plus 20,000 for those who have done masters. So total, there is an annual numerical limit, and that limit is like they have to get 65,000 plus 20,000. That is the maximum limit. Okay. And there is also a time limit. That maximum of 6 years. After 6 years, they are given two options. Either come after 1 year, or you can apply for green card. So max validity is 6 years. After this, wait of 1 year or green card. So it has a maximum velocity of 6 years at one stretch. After this, they have two options. Either wait for 12 months, don't come to US for 12 months. After 12 months, they can again be allotted this for up to 6 years. Okay. Or they can apply for green card. So these two options are there. Either wait for 12 months, 1 year, or you can apply for green card, and then you can apply get the permanent residence, not citizenship. Green card is not citizenship, it is residence. So they can get the residence certificate of US. So this is one part, that what is the limit and everything in this case of H1B visa. Okay. Now, this is one part of it. What is H1B visa? Why it was started? To whom it can be allocated? Okay. And for what purpose they have done this? Now there is another part of it, another story of it. What we have seen, the limit is 65,000 plus 20,000. Yeah. This limit is 65,000 plus 20,000. But this is for new H1B visa. It is for new H1B visa. Means this is only for new H1B visa. If there is a need of reissuing, then there is no limit on that. So there is no limit, no such limit, or limit does not apply to reissue H1B. Plus, just to give you an idea that on paper it is written 65,000, but in actual, in 2023, the US government approved this H1B visa of 1,18,948 people. Okay. 1,18,948. This was new. Plus, at the same time, more than 2.5 lakh for continuance. Okay. 2,67,310 reissue. Okay. Sorry, 370. 370. So that has been reissued. So it means it is near about 4 lakh H1B visa, which was there in 2023 itself. Okay. So this number is very high. Now, those people, like right now what we see that, now right now there is this entry of Donald Trump, and the supporters of Donald Trump are strictly against this H1B visa. They want the jobs for local, but then Trump is also a businessman and he has been supported by businessmen. He has been supported by businessmen. One of the prominent figure among them is Elon Musk. And the business houses, they favor what? They favor the H1B visa. They say that, of course, there can be some change in it, there can be some reform in it, but it cannot be scrapped, it cannot be ended. So this is one thing where again there is a lot of debate in United States. See, one more angle you have to see here. Like, if we look at this, the who are getting the maximum. So just to give you an idea, India has got this much. India has got 72%, 72.32% of H1B visa. Okay. Indians have got 72% of H1B visa, and this is one part. Second part is, look at this one part, who are the employers? Infosys, then we have TCS, then we have like you will find that HCL, Wipro, they are also there. Yeah. Indian IT majors like Infosys, TCS, HCL, Wipro, they are also there in US, and they are also seeking the Indian workers. So out of the major employers, you will find Infosys and TCS is also there. Infosys and TCS has office over US. So whom they will prefer? They prefer the Indian people. Okay. Like even Amazon is there, Cognizant is there, Google is there, Meta platforms are there. So apart from this, Infosys and TCS is also one of the companies. HCL and Wipro is also there. So they are also some of the IT majors having offices in US, and they are also seeking the H1B visa. Okay. So they are the top major seekers of H1B visa in 2024. That is one part. Okay. Now another part is 70%, 69% of them are having salary of less than $1 lakh. Around like 26% are having 1 lakh to 1,50,000, and above 1,50,000 there are only 5%. It means highly paid Indian people are very few in United States. Highly paid Indian IT workers, according to US rates or according to US economy, there are only 5% Indians who are highly paid. The remaining are under this section, 69% who are earning less than $1 lakh per year. That may be a very less figure in United States, but for India, you know that $1 lakh equals $85 lakh as of now. Okay. So you have to just multiply it by 85. Okay. So this is one part about H1B visa, who is getting this, and like what is the trend over the year. This has been continuously increasing only. It is not decreasing. It is somewhat increasing only. I hope this is clear. What is H1B visa and everything. So are you going there on H1B visa? How many of you are going there applying for work in US? $1 lakh equals to 85 lakh. After 6 years, one can apply. Remember this part, that Indians are not directly applying for H1B visa. Companies are applying for this quota, and then companies hire people and then give this H1B visa for their employees. Okay. So it is not directly to the Indian people. It is not directly to the Indian people. It is there for this what we say, it is there for like the companies who are there. 85 lakh rupees, huge amount. Yes, that is what I am saying. Trump is building the wall again. The wall is for Mexico people. Wall is for Mexico people, not for the Indian people. They will not build a wall on the Pacific or the air. Okay. Now, coming to the next topic. The next topic is about why India is warming slowly. The second topic is why India is warming slowly. There is also a concept of purchasing power parity. Okay. Even if you go by purchasing power parity, still $1 lakh is $22 lakh in India, or $25 lakh in India. And $25 lakh is still some good amount in India. If you are not living in Delhi or Mumbai, then 25 lakh rupees is also a good amount. Okay. Now, coming to the next part, why India is warming slowly. So let us see some facts with respect to this, and then we will come to this portion. Okay. Just to give you an idea, annual mean temperature of the world has increased by 1.1 degrees Celsius since 1850 to 1900. So there has been an increase of 1.1 degrees Celsius globally. Okay. Second thing is, in the terrestrial area, this increase is 1.59 degrees Celsius. It means the warming rate in terrestrial area is higher as compared to the ocean area. See, there is one thing which you have to understand here. Oceans absorb more heat. Still after that, what we see that the warming in terrestrial areas is much more higher as compared to the ocean. 1.59 degrees Celsius increase has been seen in terrestrial area. Second thing is, in the ocean area, it is 0.88 degrees Celsius. Okay. While if we talk about India, so according to Ministry of Earth Sciences, in 2020, annual mean temperature in India has risen by 0.7 degrees Celsius. So our warming is even less than oceans and almost half of the warming of the entire world. So it is only 0.7 degrees Celsius that annual average mean temperature has increased by 0.7 degrees Celsius. Okay. And in just that 0.7 degrees Celsius, we can see what is the impact on our climate, on our weather and all other things. So this is one part, like what has been seen. Just look at these figures. Global increase in temperature is 1.1. Terrestrial area is having 1.59 degrees Celsius. Oceanic area is having 0.88. If we talk about India, it is 0.7. So it has been said that India is warming slowly as compared to the other areas of the world. Okay. So now the question is why it is so. The question is why. Why we are having this slow warming. Okay. If you look at India, India is there in tropical area. India is there in tropical area. So tell me one thing. You all have read geography. Okay. Tell me one thing. Is there like what you say? This there is one thing. there is convection current. Okay, there is convection current, and there is also like a settling of the winds. So in the case of India, is there like a rising of the warm current or subsidence of the warm current? Do we have convectional currents or do we have subsidence current? What type of current we are experiencing in case of India? Subsidence or convection current? You all have read geography, tropical area. Normally what we see that, suppose we are looking at this is 0 degree, this is 90 degree. So what we see that at this tropical areas there is convection current which slowly moves towards this area and settles over the 90 degree. Okay. So what we see that in this part there is convectional currents. There is convectional currents rising of, and here there is subsidence. Subsidence. So generally there is a heat transfer. Heat is getting transferred. Heat is getting transferred from the equatorial areas or tropical areas towards the polar regions or higher latitudes. So generally what we see that there is a heat transfer from this tropical areas towards the higher altitudes, higher latitudes and polar areas. So why this is happening? This is happening because of atmospheric circulation. Because of atmospheric circulation. Because of atmospheric circulation. So since India is there in tropical areas, there is transfer of heat. There is transfer of heat. Hence we are cooler. Okay. Plus there is another factor. There is another factor. Okay. Now what we see that in the case of India, there has been presence of aerosols due to various activities, especially related to agriculture or construction. Okay. So we see that there is a huge pollution in India. There is pollution. And one of the significant part of that pollution is aerosols. One of the significant part of that pollution is aerosols. The dust particles, the fly ash, it is there in the air. Why? We have been having this tradition of burning of agricultural waste, burning of various type of waste materials. Construction activities are very common without any such like a cover or anything. So due to multiple factors, we see that dust, then fly ash, these things are very much common in the upper atmosphere of India. And you know that aerosols have a role in cooling. Aerosols have a role in cooling process. So, although this is very much bad for health condition and all, but see, there is a silver line here also. Although aerosols are bad, but there is a silver line here also, that these aerosols have prevented the incoming solar radiations. They have reflected much of the solar radiations, and this has led to lower warming over the Indian region. So due to the presence of aerosols also, we are having lower warming over India. So two regions are there. First, tropical, transfer of heat due to atmospheric circulation. Second is the presence of aerosols over India. So due to these two factors, we have seen the cooling effect over India. But this is the half picture. This is the half picture. There is one thing which we have to see now. Okay. Just to give you an idea. See, this is the timeline. This is the timeline for India from 1900 to 2020. Okay. Just see here one thing. It has started to increase gradually. See this line, it was it was supposed to go like this. It was supposed to go like this. But just see here, this is the part of 2000. This is the part of 2000. And here we are in 2021. Now the graph is going like this. If you look at the mean graph, it was supposed to go in this manner. It was supposed to go in this manner, like we would have reached 30.7 or some point here. This is indicating the average mean temperature for India. Now just see the change from here, from 2000 to 2021. Just see the change here. Now see the graph, how it is going. This is the graph for the last 100 years. This is the graph for the last 100 years, and this is the graph for last 20 years. So while, of course, historically, we didn't have seen that much of temperature increase, but see the divergence here now. You can notice the divergence here now, that from 2000 to 2021, how much difference has been there. How much difference has been there in case of rise of temperature. So this is one part. That good news was, that good news which we have got, that India is having slow warming. We know that it will not be true for the times to come. The way we are getting warm now, in upcoming times, our warming level can be higher than the global warming level also. Okay. So now this has got accelerated. Okay. So what we see, that acceleration in warming rate over the last 25 years. So first thing is, if we look at global temperature, how much it was, for India, how much it was. Okay. Why India was having this slow warming? We have seen two reasons: atmospheric conditions, second is the presence of aerosols. But then if we look at this closely, then in the last 20 years, the rate of warming is much more faster as compared to other parts. Okay. So we may experience more warming in upcoming times. Okay. So that is one scenario. Now, there is also one thing called as polar amplification. Polar amplification. Can you tell me what is polar amplification? Anyone? What is polar amplification? What is this polar amplification? Any idea about this? What is polar amplification? See, normally what is said, that tropical area getting warm, but polar areas are getting warmer, but polar areas are getting warmer at rates 2 to 4 times higher. What we see, that the tropical areas are getting warmer, the temperate areas are getting warmer, but the polar areas like Arctic or Antarctic, they are getting warmer 2 to 4 times higher. Means their warming rate is much more higher as compared to tropical areas or temperate areas. So rate of warming in polar areas is higher. This is what we call as polar amplification. Okay. So polar amplification is nothing but higher rate of warming in polar areas as compared to tropical regions. And there is also one more thing here. There is also one event which is called as Arctic amplification. Arctic amplification. So this Arctic amplification says that out of the two poles, North Pole and South Pole, out of Arctic and Antarctic, the rate of warming at Arctic is even greater than the rate of warming at Antarctic. Okay. So this is what we call as Arctic amplification. Okay. Rate of warming in North Pole higher than South Pole. So this phenomena is what we call as Arctic amplification. So there are two things also here. One is polar amplification, one is Arctic amplification. Polar is talking about both the poles. Arctic is saying that the rate of warming in the poles is higher, that's true. But the rate of warming in Arctic is even more higher than the Antarctic. So that's why it is called as Arctic amplification. Okay. I hope it's clear. Okay. So this is one part, what is Arctic amplification, what is polar amplification. Now coming to the third topic, it's Army Day today. Okay. So let's talk about Indian Army. Tell me one thing, I think all of you know this. Okay, thank you. So I hope all of you know this, that why do we celebrate the Indian Army Day? I think all of you know this. Why do we celebrate the Indian Army Day? You can tell me about this one. FinProj. See, there is one simple thing, that is a new course itself. When you were in batch 1, your entire syllabus of batch 1 would be completed under that part. But crash course is a new course. That's why they are charging for it. Okay. So tell me about this one. Why we are celebrating Indian Army Day on 15th of January? So why do we celebrate this 15 January? Makar Sankranti. That we have to celebrate something, so we can start with Makar Sankranti. Why do we celebrate on 15 Jan only, not on other dates? Okay. See, basically the thing is, on 15 Jan 1949, on 15 Jan 1949, what we have seen that Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa, he took over as the first Indian Commander-in-Chief of Indian Army. Okay. Before that, it was under the control of British. So there was St. Francis Butcher. So from him, the power was transferred to the first Commander-in-Chief of Indian Army, Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa. Okay. So what we see that this is the time when transfer of power from St. Francis Butcher to K.M. Cariappa. Okay. So for this very region, what we see that Indian Army Day is celebrated on 15th of January. Okay. So on this date itself, this power was transferred. India got independence in 1947, but you can see that the power from the British was transferred to the Indian Army in 1949, not 47, in 1949 to Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa. Okay. And so for this region, we celebrate this day as part of the Indian Army Day. Okay. Now, just see this part. If we are talking about the Indian Army, just to give you some facts with respect to this. Okay. Like, although if you look at the government website now, okay, it says that Indian Army was formed in 1776 in Kolkata under this government of East India Company. Okay. So it was formed in 1776 under this East India Company. Okay. Right now, if you look at this, although see, there is one very important part. If you look at Government of India website, it says that we can trace the history of Indian Army from the time of the beginning, from the time of Mahabharata itself, or even prior to that, we can see this. Okay. So Indian Army, they try to, like, government says that our history is not from 1776, it is even from before, okay, from the times of Mahabharata, Ramayana. Okay. And throughout the ages, there have been existence of Indian Army in different forms. Now, if we look at this, Indian Army is the world's largest standing all volunteer army, having 1.2 million active troops and 0.9 million reserve troops. Okay. So we are having this largest all volunteer army, means it is not a forceful job. No one is forcing someone to join the army, and still we are having this volunteer participation of people in army. 1.2 million active troops. Okay. Then, if we look at this, Indian Army, around in the First World War, 1.3 million Indian soldiers fought alongside the Allies, and 74,000 troops were also killed. So, India Gate Memorial, which is there in Delhi, it also mentions about their name. It mentions, or it commemorates the soldiers who perished during this war. So India Gate Memorial is for those people who fought during this First World War. Okay. Then if we look at this, in 2022, the Global Firepower Index has ranked Indian military as the fourth mightiest military of the entire world. Okay. After USA and then Russia and China, it is the fourth mightiest army across the world. Okay. So it is the fourth mightiest army of the world after India, after US, Russia and China. Okay. So this is about Indian Army. Okay. So this is one part, just a basic information about Indian Army, how it all started. Today Hindu paper was not there, so we have to discuss this part. Yes. Now there is a new war memorial also, that is much more better. It has been constructed in a large area. Many other soldiers who have participated in different wars, their name is written on the bricks of that war memorial. So just near India Gate, a new war memorial was also constructed recently. Okay. And that is also a very beautiful structure. Okay. Yes. So now coming to this part, Mediterranean. So there are many countries surrounding this Mediterranean Sea, and there is always a difficulty in remembering their names. There is always a difficulty in remembering their names. For Black Sea, it is easier. For this Caspian Sea also, it is quite easier. But for this Mediterranean Sea, it is quite difficult. So today we will try to memorize this one. Okay. So first thing is, we will divide it into three parts: Asia, Africa and Europe. Asia, Africa and Europe. Okay. For Asia, we have a simple thing, Sea. Sea. Okay. For Asia, we have 4 countries here. They are very much simple. One is Syria. Second one is Israel. Then we have Lebanon and Cyprus. So there are 4 countries here. We have Sea, that is Syria, Israel, Lebanon and Cyprus. Okay. Then for Africa, of course, some of you remember is as metal or metal. Okay. But if we go in a chronology wise manner also, It is metal. Okay. Here we have Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia. Then we have Libya and Egypt. That is one part. Okay. So now the third thing is about Europe. So in Europe, there is a little bit more difficulty in remembering the names of this one part. Okay. Just I am giving you a hint. You can have better options. Okay. But just this one thing, if it helps, it's good. Okay. So the trick is, see. So the trick is this. I don't know how much it will help you, but this is the trick. Boss went to eat slow cooked turkey and fried momos in Greece and Italy. Okay. So here, if we look at these terms, let me write the countries for you. Boss here means Bosnia. Then we have Spain. After this, just ignore this part. Slovenia. Cook start with C, that is Croatia. Turkey is Turkey. You know, Turkey is Turkey there. And is for Albania. Fried is for France. Then we have Monaco. Then we have Montenegro. And then we have Greece and Italy. Okay. So here we have 8 and 3, 11 countries plus 5 countries here, 16 and plus 4 countries there. Okay. Apart from this, other smaller countries are also there. Okay. So my map, is it easy? So just to give you this part, Asia, this is simple, till C. Syria, Israel, Lebanon and Cyprus. Okay, Cyprus. Then we have for Africa, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya and Egypt. Then we have for Europe, boss went to eat slow cooked turkey and fried momos in Greece and Italy. Okay. Here, boss is for Bosnia, Spain, Slovenia, Croatia, Turkey, Albania, France, Monaco, Montenegro, Greece and Italy. Okay. So these are the countries which are there in Europe. Normally, they will ask you about Asia or Africa. Normally, they are asking you about Asia and Africa. Okay. So, Turkey is Turkey is edible. Turkey is Turkey is edible thing. The entire Turkey is cooked. Okay. Turkey is a very famous food in Europe and other places. Okay. So for this part, if you remember, I am fond of foods and everything. So this is what I could made from this. They generally don't ask you about Europe, but if they ask you, this is one option. Boss went to eat slow cooked turkey and fried momos in Greece and Italy. Okay. Greece and Italy are famous for food. Greece and Italy, if you look at this, they are famous for food. Okay. Now, what they have famous there? Turkey is one of the famous items in European countries. Okay. So Turkey is one of the thing. Plus now there is influence of China. So you have momos everywhere. Okay. Although momos is not just Chinese food, it is common food. Okay. But yes, we relate momos with China, so you can relate it here. Okay. So it is simple, and we have a common tendency. When momos came to India, it became fried momos. Okay. So that fried momos, FR stands here for France. Okay. So this is one part which I thought I can share it with you for this European region. Otherwise, just remember these two things, Asia and Africa. Only this much is sufficient. Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya and Egypt. And the first one is still see Syria, Israel, Lebanon and Cyprus. Okay. Like chicken only. You have not seen Turkey. Like Turkey is edible thing. Turkey is edible thing. Turkey is edible thing, so that is why I have used this. Okay. So this is one part. Like if you just focus on Asia and Africa also, that will be fine. Otherwise, for Europe, of course, it is tough. But if you remember this one part, that was when to eat slow cooked turkey and fried momos in Greece and Italy. This is one line, and so many countries. Okay. So that is our fourth topic about Mediterranean. Now let's come to this question about science and tech from November. Okay. So let's see these questions. First is, consider the following statement with respect to direct to device satellite connectivity. India's first direct to device satellite connectivity has been launched by Jio. It will eliminate the need of ground-based cellular tower throughout India. The existing smartphones will require specialized hardware to establish a connection with a satellite. So, direct to device satellite connectivity. This is from November 2024. Just look at this question and tell me what will be the answer. D option. Okay. One option is D, two options as D. Okay. Anyone else? Science question are not tough. See, if we look at this direct to device satellite, it has not been launched by Jio, it has been launched by BSNL, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. So this direct to device satellite connectivity has been launched for the first time by BSNL, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited. Okay. Second thing is, it will eliminate the need of ground-based cellular tower throughout India. That is also incorrect. That is also incorrect. See, the thing is, ground-based tower will still be there. Ground-based tower will still be there, but wherever ground-based tower is not there, wherever there is lack of ground-based tower or there is lack of connectivity, there the phone will have an option to connect with the satellite. Okay. So it will be helpful in remote areas, where there is lack of connectivity. Lack of connectivity from cellular towers. Okay. So this is one part. The existing smartphones will require specialized hardware to establish a connection with a satellite. This is correct. It is not possible for all the smartphones, especially the existing one, to directly connect with this direct to device satellite. Our mobile phones, apart from iPhones, the normal Android mobile phones are suited with the cellular tower. So they will require special hardwares to be able to connect with the satellite. Okay. So here the thing is, the existing smartphones, not the new smartphones. Okay. The existing smartphones, they will require special hardware to connect with this satellite. Okay. So this third statement is correct. New devices which are getting launched, they might be compatible with it. iPhones are of course compatible with it, but other smartphones are not compatible. So this is a general statement. If it was written all smartphones, then it would have been correct. Otherwise, then it would have been incorrect. Otherwise, it is a correct statement. So answer here will be A option, only one. Coming to second one, which of the following correctly describes the term One Health approach? The third question is One Health approach. So option here is a collaborative effort to improve the health of people, animals and the environment. Second is saying a collaborative effort to improve the nutrition profile of infant and pregnant mother. A collaborative effort to reduce the rise of antimicrobial resistance. A collaborative effort to improve the health of elderly and vulnerable section. So One Health approach. What is this? Question number 2. Remember one thing, Starlink doesn't have the capacity, Starlink is not allowed to provide internet in India. Starlink is not allowed, it is not registered with the government, hence it has not been allowed to provide internet connectivity within India. A option, I think maximum people are going with option A, and this is a relatively easy question also. So yes, here of course the answer is A, a collaborative effort to improve the health of people, animal and environment, that is One Health approach. Okay. Last question, consider the following statements about Global Health Emergency Corps. Global Health Emergency Corps. It is a grouping of professionals with objective of strengthening the response to health emergencies. It supports countries on their health emergency workforce. It was activated for first time by WHO during the COVID-19 pandemic. Three statements are there. Global Health Emergency Corps, a grouping of professionals with objective of strengthening the response to health emergencies. It supports countries on their health emergency workforce. It was activated for the first time by WHO during the COVID-19 pandemic. So question number 3. Question number 3, what will be the answer? One answer from Pragya is option B. Ritesh is also saying option B. Okay. So Disha, Anjali, SKV. Everyone says option B. Option B is only 2. So which one is incorrect? It's okay. Option B is the correct answer. Which one is the incorrect one? Which statement is incorrect? The first one is correct, that it is a grouping of professionals with the objective of strengthening the response to health emergencies. This one is correct. It is helping the countries on their health emergency workforce. That is also correct. It was activated for first time by WHO during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is wrong. Basically, this Global Health Emergency Corps, it was set up in 2023. So after pandemic, it was set up in 2023. So this was set up in 2023. So there is no question that it can be used in COVID pandemic. Now it has been activated for first time during Mpox outbreak. Okay. So for Mpox outbreak, the monkeypox, which is now simply known as Mpox. So for this virus, this Global Health Emergency Corps has been activated for the first time. Okay. So that is the additional information about this. It is one of the important topic for this year prelims. Okay. So set up by WHO, but after COVID pandemic in 2023. Okay. So this answer here will be option B. Now, tomorrow we will have questions from December Science Tech. Okay. So in this week, like for the last 3 days, we were solving questions based on November 2024. So from next day, we are going to start with December now. Okay. Tomorrow is Thursday, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and even on Monday, we will have questions from science. For next week, we will start with questions on environment. So we have completed near about 100 plus topics, 120 plus 110 topics or 120 topics for science and technology. After this December, we will complete near about 110 to 120 topics for science and technology. So we will we are starting with marathon from this Saturday itself. So I hope you are going through the previous questions also of science and tech. In one of the sessions in next week or maybe in upcoming days, we will have some revision question also from science and tech of past. Okay. So from tomorrow, we will focus on December science tech. Then we will start with environment of January. Okay. Then we will start with this environment January 24. Clear? Okay. The question for today. This is the question for today. This one is going on in the news. What is de-dollarization? What is de-dollarization? This is one of the issue which is going on in the present times. So answer me in the comment box. What is de-dollarization? Okay. And then we will meet again tomorrow at the same time, 5 p.m. Okay. Thank you everyone. Any question, any doubt? Are you ready for Saturday? I suggest the afternoon for tomorrow, but I get sleepy after 12 a.m. See, for sleepiness, I told you, whenever you are feeling sleepy, there is two options. Either go for workout or call your parents and say that I am getting sleepy all the time. Muskan, for sociology optional, just go through the website once. There you will get the information. There is a crash course is launched. Yes, crash course is starting from 20th January 2025. Okay. So it is already there. It is starting from 20 January. Okay. 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 So let's meet tomorrow at 5 p.m. for further topics. And tell me about what is de-dollarization. Thank you and take care.